I have been testing out so much new makeup, and today I'm gonna share all my thoughts. Starting off with the many SPF products that have launched recently, I'll tell you right now, most of these are a no for me. But let's start with the newest from e.l.f. This is their Invisi-Stick. It is part of their Suntouchable line, and it is an SPF stick. I'm pretty sure they were trying to dupe the Shiseido SPF stick. I have not tried that one, so I can't speak to how similar they are. But the main reason that I picked this up is because there are a lot of SPF sticks that apply well over top of makeup without disrupting it. And I was hoping that would be the case with this, but I will tell you right away, it is not. Not only does this not apply well over makeup, it is going to completely mess up your makeup. You're gonna like streak it across your face. It is not emollient enough to apply it without disrupting product beneath it. So that was a bummer because that was probably the only way I would have used this, because I'm really hesitant to use sunscreen sticks as my main and only form of sun protection because I have heard that they're not as reliable. You have to apply so many layers just to get the protection. They can be deceiving because you think you've applied enough, but you probably have not. So personally, I like to stick to a liquid sunscreen to be my main form of coverage, but I thought this could help at touching up. It really does not. That being said, I have it, so I'll probably just like throw it in my purse and use it on my hands or on my body when I'm out and about. But again, I would be cautious about stick sunscreens because it is very likely you're not applying enough, which is certainly the case with this one. I talked briefly about the Merit Uniform Tinted SPF product in a recent video, so I will keep this brief. I will start off by saying I am reviewing this basically as a foundation and not a sunscreen, because if you are applying enough of this to get your sun protection, it's going to be kind of heavy. So I really wouldn't rely on this as your sunscreen, or at least not your main form of sunscreen. It could be a secondary layer, but I would put a normal sunscreen underneath this. But that being said, when it is applied with a light hand, I do think it looks nice. I would say it's on par with a lot of other skin tints. It blends out well. It's a nice sheer to light pigment, easy to apply. I've had really good results even blending it out with my fingers, which I generally don't like, but with this, it works pretty well. That being said, I have other foundations or skin tints that I like more than this that I would recommend over this, that offer a similar level of coverage. So it's not become a new favorite for me, but it's not bad. So this is a no, this is a maybe, and I'll tell you right now, these are both no's, but let me explain. The new Tower 28 SPF 30 Face Guard. So there's been a lot of discussion about this product because Tower 28 marketed it as not having any cast. So it is a mineral sunscreen, but they have added a tint to it to try to offset the cast. But with that in mind, this tint is not going to offset the cast for everyone, especially if you have a very deep skin tone. And we've seen a lot of creators share that they got a pretty considerable cast with this product. So right away, that claim that it's universal does not hold up. I will say the tint that they added in it to offset the cast is a little bit deeper than my skin tone, and yet when I blend it out, I don't see it. That being said, I would be cautious if you are even paler than I am. You might see it. I would probably skip it. All that in mind, it blends out well. I think it looks nice on the skin. It's not too heavy, especially compared to a lot of other mineral sunscreens I've tried. Makeup applies just fine over top of it, but it's really not a standout for me. And personally, I try to stick with a higher SPF level. So this was sent to me in PR, but it's not something I would repurchase. Same goes with this one, the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Dew Shield. They have tried a few sunscreens now. I want to say this is their second reformulation, but their original sunscreen in this line was pretty bad, but they brought us this new one. I will say it has that very distinct watermelon smell that most products in this line from Glow Recipe have. Personally, I do not like that, but some people do enjoy it. The main reason I don't enjoy this is because it is just so greasy and heavy once you have applied enough. Maybe if you're going in with a light hand, it would sit better on the skin, but as we know with sunscreen, you need to apply a lot, and once you have, it is very greasy, even on my dry skin. So I don't imagine a lot of people liking this unless you're using it as a very, very dewy base for makeup. And in that circumstance, I do enjoy it, but as an everyday sunscreen, I don't wear this. Okay, moving into makeup, I first have a setting spray to review. This is from Kosas. It is the Cloud Set Airy Setting Spray, and it retails for $36. I will start off by giving this the biggest compliment that I can give any mist, and that is that it has a fantastic mist. I think the mist is half of the battle. It could be a really fantastic formula, and if the nozzle and the applicator is not right, it is not going to apply well. This is such a fine mist. It has a very round spray to it, so you're getting a lot of surface area. I really enjoy spraying this onto my skin. That being said, rarely do I personally notice a big difference with these type of products. Like, it could be this $36 one from Kosas, or it could be the $12 one from e.l.f. that I also love. I don't think this is the type of product you need to splurge on. There are some that I think are better when it comes to extending the wear of your makeup, but I'm not getting that result from this. I'm more so using it just to like melt everything in. So it's a maybe. Also in makeup, I'm excited to see powder products coming back. It was all about cream products for a while there, and we're seeing more and more powder launches these days, and I have a couple powder cheek products to review, starting with the powder blush formula from Tower 28. I will say right away, if I had to choose between the powder blush that they have and the cream blush that they have, the cream blush is better. This is a very flat matte powder, but it's also quite pigmented, which in my opinion can be a tricky combo, especially on someone with fair skin. And that's the trouble that I run into with this. It can get a little bit patchy. And you'll see in the demo clips where it was just looking like a lot, it was looking heavy and poorly blended. But then I went in with my e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder to just kind of like diffuse it into place. I find myself having to do that a lot with this, reaching for other products in my collection to kind of soften the blend and diffuse it, because on its own, it can be a little bit heavy and patchy in my opinion. However, that is my review as someone with fair skin, but I would imagine a deeper complexion is not gonna run into that as much. Though I will say, most of the time I see someone applying this on camera, I do think that it looks patchy. And I think that's often the downfall with a matte powder product like this, whereas a lot of my favorite powder blushes have some bit of luminosity to them. Maybe they're not a full-on shimmer, but there is some like pearlized part of it, and it kind of melts into the skin better. This sometimes feels like I'm applying an eyeshadow to my cheek, like a matte eyeshadow, and trying to get it to look seamless, and it rarely does. If I didn't say the price, this one is $22. I always list down below every product I mention in my shade with the cost in USD with affiliate links. So if you're ever wondering about anything I say, there's more info in the description. Okay, I'm looking at this next one, and I have another kind of critical review. I just feel like a lot of mid products today. And I guess it's less that and more so that there are so many great products on the market that none of these are standing out. You know what I mean? I'm calling out some of the pitfalls of these products, though they're not bad. I think it's a tough landscape in beauty right now to stand out because there's already just so much good makeup. It's like, why go buy this new thing if it's not amazing? And that's how I feel about a lot of these, including the new powder bronzers by Makeup by Mario. Much like the Tower 28 blush I just reviewed, I would direct you to the cream bronzers for Makeup by Mario. Way better than this. This is not bad, but it runs into the same problem that I get with that Tower 28 blush, where it's quite pigmented and it's this flat matte powder, so it can get a little bit patchy on the skin. You have to really work it into the skin. And I thought I would love this because generally I really enjoy Makeup by Mario products. And every time I do my makeup, I think, no, maybe I did something wrong last time and I'm gonna blend it out better today, but I still end up looking a little patchy. And it could certainly be user error, but that being said, I have other bronzers that I don't run into that with. It does have a mirror though, and I feel like nothing has a mirror these days, so I was pleasantly surprised to see that. Okay, now on to makeup. Of course, we have to do the lip balm segment. All we get these days are tinted lip balms, and with half of these brands, I just want to say if you haven't launched a tinted lip balm yet, just halt production. We do not need any more. That being said, we have some new ones, starting with the ones from Glow Recipe. This is called the Glass Balm. It is $22 and they have 4 shades. This formula has little sparkles in it, which I thought I would like because I enjoy the sparkle shades that Summer Fridays has. And yet the sparkles on this I don't like as much because they tend to kind of stay behind on my lips. I'll notice if I apply this before bed, the next day when I wake up, I have just this remnants of glitter on my lips and kind of like around my lips. These also have that signature fruity scent that we again know with Glow Recipe. Opacity wise, I would say these are in the middle. You're going to see the pigment on these more than you are on some others that are more sheer, but there is still some level of translucency to them. That being said, they have not passed my top spot, which is Summer Fridays, in my opinion. Those are still my favorites. Oh, I meant to say this in the beginning when I was reviewing the e.l.f. sunscreen, But this video is very high-end heavy, and that is on purpose because the next video that you see from me will be drugstore. So I have a bunch of products that I've been wanting to review for you from the drugstore that I was going to throw in this video, but they're going to be in that next video and I didn't want to be redundant. So that's why the drugstore launches in this video are a little bit slim. They're all coming in the next video. Milk Makeup also launched lip balms, but they have some of the more affordable ones out of the Sephora lip balm brand. So I do like that. These are $18. Outside of the Tower 28 lip softies that are $16, most of their competitors at Sephora have their lip balms priced higher. So at least the price point is nice. And I will say I actually really like the packaging and the look of these. The yellow one is very subtle. I don't smell much. It's like this faint citrus scent, but let me tell you, this red one, the shade is called Refresher, almost smells too good. Like I put it on my lips and I want to lick it off. It smells like a red candy or a red popsicle. And I specifically use that call out and not like a strawberry or a cherry because it doesn't smell like a fruit. It smells like an artificial candy flavored like a fruit. You know what I mean? No sparkles in these. I like that. They're very hydrating. They're not as thick as some other tinted lip balms. They have a slightly more oily texture to them, but not oily, but they're not as globby as some tinted lip balms can be. I would recommend these over the Glow Recipe ones. Another lip product, but this is like a gloss hybrid type of situation. These are new from Caliray and they are called the Lip Guard. These are SPF 31 lip glosses. I have yet to find an SPF lip product that I really like. A lot of them either taste bad or feel gross or look bad on the lips. These though, I will say I'm pretty impressed. I was anticipating this to look and apply like the SPF lip balms from e.l.f. that I don't really love, but this is not at all like that. So if you were turned off by that product and how thick and opaque it was, this actually is pretty different and applies more like a typical lip gloss, but with a little bit more pigment to it. Packaging wise, I'm so impressed with this. It feels very luxe for being $19. These sit really well on the lips. They're hydrating, they wear well. The only thing I don't love about these is that I almost feel like I have to apply a lip combo with them because they're quite pigmented. And I don't particularly like the way that they look if I have no makeup on and just this, which is oftentimes when I would be gravitating to an SPF lip balm. So keep that in mind, but I do really like these, especially for $19. I don't know how I forgot to include the Sigma Spectrum palette because it was sitting right next to me when I filmed this and I had already filmed the application clips of it. But I've really been enjoying this one from Sigma. As you know, I'm not as into eyeshadow these days, so I'm rarely reaching for a large palette like this. However, if you are into a neutral eyeshadow palette, I do think you would like this one. The mattes blend out well, the shimmers are really bold and metallic, or you can apply them with a light hand and kind of stipple them in for a softer, more satin look like I did with this look today. It is a lot of shades, some of them can feel a little bit redundant, but I do always love the Sigma quality. The only thing I really don't like about this is the fact that it's $65. I think that's really steep for this palette. I do have an affiliate code, it's Kelly G, it would get you 10% off. I definitely recommend using some sort of a code if you're gonna buy this, even if it's not mine, definitely try to get some money off, but I have been very impressed with the quality. Okay, moving out of makeup, I do have a new lotion from Sol de Janeiro. And actually I should put new in air quotes because this is basically the original Boom Boom cream. But anyways, this is new. They call it the Body Badalada. But think of it as this, but slightly thinner and less heavy and with a pump, which is nice because the one thing I never loved about the Boom Boom cream was sticking my hand in that tub, especially because I have nails. It just was a gross experience, so I love that this has a pump to it. It's that same Churiosa 62 scent that you can expect in the Boom Boom cream. I will say, I don't feel like the scent on this is as long lasting as the original Boom Boom cream, and if you've tried this, let me know if that's been your experience as well. I swear the original Boom Boom cream stays on you forever, like even post shower and like scrubbing it off, I'm like, why am I still smelling the Boom Boom cream? This, I don't feel like it has as much longevity scent-wise, but it's still a really nice, luxurious lotion. A perfume, the new scent from Ellis Brooklyn. They actually launched 3 new scents in the body sprays, but I do feel like this is the one that has gotten the most attention. I have sniffed the other two. They're all right, but this is probably my personal favorite, and this is the banana. It retails for $35, and with the mist from Ellis Brooklyn, they come in a glass bottle, which I both like and don't like. One thing I really enjoy about a body spray is that I can just like throw it in my bag haphazardly and not worry about it. This I feel like I have to be careful with because it's glass. I will start off by saying I'm getting no banana from this. I would just describe this as a vanilla. That being said, as someone who loves a vanilla, I do think this is a very delicious scent. And I especially like wearing this layered over like a body lotion. Like, oh my gosh, these two together, I know I was just saying the scent on this doesn't last as long, but if you take this and apply this over top, it is the most delicious scent and it's gonna last a lot better. Now that I'm thinking about it, it actually is quite similar to that Cheriosa 62 scent. So if you like that, you would probably like this. Another Ellis Brooklyn one kind of is their collaboration with Amika. This is limited edition. I don't know how much longer it's going to be around, but they did a dry shampoo in the scent of their very popular Miami Nectar perfume. I love this perfume, one of my favorites for summertime. I don't think these smell identical. So if this is like your holy grail and you're really excited to get that scent in your dry shampoo, there is a bit of a difference between them. And I'll start off by calling out the fact that I've heard a lot of people say that theirs has leaked. That has not been my experience, but I do want to call that out because I have heard that quite a few times now, and for $28, this is definitely a splurge for a dry shampoo to then run into it leaking. So I will call that out right away, even though it has not happened on mine. The difference in these two scents, in my opinion, is that the original, well, the perfume version feels very tropical. You're getting those fruit notes, like the pineapple, the coconut, but they're less present to my nose in the dry shampoo. Base notes are a lot more noticeable to me in the dry shampoo. It's a lot more of that like woody scent, which is also in this, but I just feel like I'm missing some of those fruity notes in the dry shampoo. And when I first sprayed this, I was like, it really smells very like patchouli heavy, which is not a listed note, but that was what it smelled like to my nose. Scent aside, I did already enjoy the dry shampoo formula from Amika, so I do like the performance of this, and I will use it up, but I don't know if it's a must get, even if that is your favorite scent, because this is slightly different. Okay, that was everything. I hope you found these reviews helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.